So sometimes you need to take a step back just because your ego is taking over everything. You just won't make the right decision just because you think other people are going to think of you some way, or just because you'll think less of yourself. And what I'm here to tell you is that it's okay to step down. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to reduce my size and take some of that pressure off and trade. I did it on Friday. I was trading amazing. I felt so good. I was in the zone. And maybe I'm even thinking about bringing back the passing a funded account challenge on my Instagram. So be on the lookout for that. All right, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I feel like I haven't done this in a while, honestly. First things first, before I even get into anything, please make sure you smash that like button, smash that subscribe button, share with a friend who is also on their trading journey. Let me know in the comments how your trading journey is going. Make sure you follow me on Instagram, follow me on TikTok, follow me everywhere. Social media is down in the bottom in the description. Make sure you join the Discord. We'll talk about that more once we get into it. Another thing is I'll talk about the YouTube channel. Thank you so much for 1,700 subscribers. I'll even bring that up in a little bit here, but I just wanted to talk about the first month of the year. Hasn't been my best month ever, hasn't been my worst month ever either, but I did learn a lot, both on and off the charts. Off the charts, I started taking these grappling classes, and for those of you who don't know what it is, it's basically jiu-jitsu but without a gi, and I've been having so much fun doing that. My girl got me the classes for Christmas because I kept talking about it, and I was just like, you know what, let me go try it out. So far I've only tried the grappling classes and I've had so much fun, and I think I'm trying Hawaiian Kempo next, but that's besides the point. We're here to talk about the chart. So yeah, I don't want to talk too much. Let's head straight into the sponsor of the video and then the Discord, and we'll get into the charts. But that's just a little update of what's going on in my life, and yeah, but I'll talk about what I talked about in the beginning of the video once I get into the charts as well. Let's do it. So as always, the sponsor of today's video is Tektronix PCs. Make sure you go ahead and check them out. The link is always in the description, and use my discount code LVFLIP for 10% off, as you see right there. I don't even know what to say. Anything that has ever gone wrong or anything that has ever happened with my PC, I contact Mike from Tektronix PCs and he figures it out for me. It's a very simple process. I don't have to do too much. I just contact him. He knows exactly what it is. I just describe what the problem is, and then he'll prescribe it, right? He'll fix it as soon as possible. I'll put up a picture of when he did my stuff, but if you're looking for the best quality PC parts with the best prices in the market, make sure you go ahead and check them out. As you can see in here, this is the LV feature setup, right? You could even pay with payments on this. There's payment options, but go ahead and check them out for yourself and let me know what you think. Also follow them on Instagram. Apart from that, let's head into the YouTube channel real quick. Like I said, thank you so much for 16 subscribers. I'm extremely grateful. I am extremely thankful. I wouldn't be here without you, and I need to step it back up and start posting 2 videos a day again. I have been slacking since last year, but we're still getting started. We're still getting into the groove of everything. It still doesn't even feel like it's the new year yet, but we're a month out already. It happened so fast. It happened so quickly. But yeah, I just wanted to thank you for that. Let's head into the Discord really quickly. And here we are. If you haven't watched one of my videos before, this is my free Discord. Everybody is welcome to join, but there are now sections. Once you join the Discord, I will advise you to read the mandatory read, and this in here will have all the information that you really need in order to understand how the Discord works. When you come in, you're gonna have a free chat, and everybody has access to that chat. But what I've noticed is that a lot of people join and they just want to sit there and not talk and take in all the information and basically just not miss out on anything, right, without actually participating. And I grew sick and tired of that. I don't want people like that in my community. I want people who are serious. So I decided to turn it into multiple different sections. There's the free section, then above that is the active community. So if you're active in the free section, you'll be added into the active community, and that's the only way that you can get into that. And then obviously on top of that is the premium Discord. I am not doing any one-on-ones or anything like that. I'm focused on my own trading and on the people in the Discord. Apart from that, if you have any questions or if you need anything, you just head all the way down here and you hit the join the war room premium, and all the information you need is in there. Apart from that, if you have any other questions, hit me up on Instagram or in the free Discord chat, and I will answer everything for you. But yeah, this is basically what it will look like. Obviously we have all the lectures in here as well. If you are interested in doing that, join. Apart from that, there's nothing much. Link is down in the description. Let's head into the charts. All right, now we are in the charts. As you can see here, basically we ended up having a Wednesday high all the way down to a Thursday low, with basically the best few days were being Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday. Wednesday was pretty choppy with FOMC. Everybody was expecting a lot more, but not as well. And then Friday was good after like mid-afternoon. Apart from that, it was pretty choppy. I was gonna talk about what I said earlier in the video, which was that I was gonna end up sizing down. So due to Thursday, one thing that I want to tell you is don't let your ego get in the way. One thing that I've noticed for myself as well is when I've noticed that the day is so extremely volatile like it was on Thursday, the stop losses are a lot wider without you really noticing. All right, so on a regular day it might be a 10-point stop loss, but on a day like Thursday it would be like a 25-30 point stop loss. And I was like, you know what, on days like this I don't want to go in, and you're supposed to adjust this, but I guess my ego wasn't letting me in the past. You're supposed to adjust it based on the day, right? And it just makes a lot of sense. That way you can really protect yourself and make sure that you aren't causing more harm than you really should, right? Because at the end of the day, the whole purpose of trading is to protect your capital and to make sure that you have money for the next day. You always want to survive until the next day in order to take another trade. And if you're over leveraging and over risking on days like Thursday, you're gonna get cooked. But we're gonna talk about each individual day and talk about what I took. As always, the pictures, or not the pictures, the videos will always pop up on the left side of the screen. I don't remember, it might be on the right side, right? Yeah, I don't remember, it might be over here, but either way it'll be on the screen. And depending on what I posted that day, if I didn't post anything, it's because I didn't take a trade that day, and I'll explain it on here. Yeah, and that's pretty much everything. So let's get into it right away, starting here with Monday the 26th. As you can see, with Monday I had been bullish since last Wednesday basically. So I was anticipating us on Monday to end up coming into this high, basically the previous week high, and that was my draw on liquidity. Basically at the open, noticing that we dropped down into this 15-minute fair value gap right here. This is just on the 1 hour. Let me go on the 15-minute. That should be a lot easier. So here on Monday I end up hesitating here in the AM session on this long off of this fair value gap, which got me tight because obviously they expanded really quickly towards my target, which was the previous week high. All right, so like I said, on Monday I took the long. I took a long, got stopped out break even, and that was my only trade for the day, just because I didn't see anything else that I liked. My target objective was already taken out, but I also had the previous month high up here that I was thinking, okay, maybe we have a chance of going for that, but it was only Monday and we had FOMC, so I wasn't expecting too much in the early week. Apart from that, right, we had that 15-minute fair value gap starting the day. All right, then I noticed that we came down and we were tapping into this right here, which was this, for me, was just support, right, down close candle on an uptrend, and I noticed that we tapped that, right, and also respecting this fair value gap here. So I took an entry, I believe it was right here, a little bit lower, probably like here, and then I had my stop loss below here for about 15 points, and I was targeting 50 points around that area. As you can see, ended up going up and then taking me out one more time and then going all the way up, which is annoying. So I was just like, you know what, I'm good, I'm done for the day. I'm not gonna risk too much on the beginning of the week, especially on a Monday when we have FOMC on Wednesday. So that was the only trade that I had, but I was in the right direction. It's just, you know, bad timing or bad probability, I guess you can say, in that sense. But it's all good because, like I said, I was very patient, and the most important thing to me is always following my rules. As long as I'm following my rules, I don't care what my P&L says, because that's the most important part. Now let's talk about what happened here on Tuesday. I ended up taking a long on Tuesday and catching a dub, and I just want to play that out, but I was still bullish, right, using the previous month high as my target. And I don't remember if there was an SMT below Asia. I just want to make sure real quickly, just because it was earlier in the week and so much has been happening this week since then. So, let me just check real quick. No SMT in Asia, but I was bullish, so I just wanted to see what we would do. I think this was a higher time frame fair value gap maybe that we came back into on Tuesday. Yeah, so this fair value gap here on the 1 hour, maybe the 4 hour as well, we had already tapped into one and we were going higher here at 6 a.m. so I think that is the fair value gap that we went into. I just mark it out here just so that we know, and that's what I was playing off of. I'm just like, okay, we came down to the fair value gap, there's support, previous resistance that turned support, and as you can see, we respected it very well and continued higher, right? So my idea came from the 1 minute, obviously using the higher time frame as the example, but I was watching, right, and I saw that first and foremost we had dumped into this area that I was looking on for longs already, right? I noticed that we had inversed this fair value gap here, right, going all the way up and coming back down, and I ended up taking the long off of the reaction. I think I got in like a little late, so maybe like around here, something like that. And I had my stop originally below there, and then I believe I was targeting this high. All right, that was my target. I could have held it even longer, but I was like, you know what, I'm not gonna be greedy. I'm just gonna take my money and get out. But the same premise, right? Higher time frame PD array, which is the 4-hour fair value gap, with the objective being higher for me. See the manipulation lower, see my confirmation with this inverse, and then back and return into this with a reaction. And I was like, you know what, let me just try it. And that was my long on Tuesday. That was everything that I needed. And yeah, it was pretty simple. I'm trying to keep my trades as simple as possible, not try to complicate it more than it really should be complicated. But now let's talk about Wednesday, which was FOMC, which was horrendous. It was horrible. I didn't trade this day just because of how bad it was, in my opinion. So you can see it was just extremely choppy. Like, yeah, we got a move down, but if you look on the lower time frames, like that day it was just horrendous. Like, look at this up here, right? And then it just started to bleed lower, so I was just like, I'm not gonna trade this day. And on this day actually was the day that trade of 8 ended up going down, so I was just like, you know, let me not trade. In the past, one thing that I did do was, you kind of have that, I don't want to say anxiety, but that's probably the best word to use, where, for example, you can't trade that day, and then you have this feeling like, if I don't trade today, something's going wrong, and then you end up blowing your account just because you couldn't trade that day. When it's very simple, just don't trade. It's not that hard. Take the day off. And like I said, I noticed trade of 8 was messing around or messing up because I had tapped a trade. I think I went short somewhere around here. I don't remember where exactly, but I went short somewhere around here in this area, and then all that it said in my screen was -15, and then after that it was just stuck on -15. Like, the market was going up, it was going down, it was just stuck on -15. So I closed it, and then it said I was down $250. So I was just like, you know what, I'm not trading today. I'm just gonna call it a day. And then Trade of 8 ended up sending a message saying, you know, we're gonna just reset everything back. I was like, okay, perfect for me. You know, we're gonna reset everything back to what the start of the session was. So I didn't lose any money on Wednesday, and that's fine with me. I didn't trade, didn't lose any money. That's fine. But FOMC was pretty whack. The move ended up happening so late with this move down and then a move up. But apart from that, it was just chop, as you can see. But yeah, I'm just gonna skip Wednesday and go straight to Thursday, which was probably the most volatile day of the week, honestly, as you can see here. Thursday the 29th, and on this day it was just shorts. There was nothing else. I think I took 2 trades. I took a long and a short, and the long was stupid, idiotic, and I'll explain it as well. And then the short, I took it, it was just bad timing, so I ended up getting, I think I got stopped out, and I was just like, you know what, I'm done, I'm good. But I ended up losing more than I wanted to because of how volatile it was, and I was still trading E-mini instead of micros. So you can see over here it's in micros now. I was trading E-mini, and I was like, you know what, let me go down to micros on Friday. But Thursday was where I really learned my lesson, because I lost more than I really wanted to, and I got saved because I guess too many people blew their accounts. I didn't blow my account, but too many people blew their account, and I guess they just took that as and parted them and reset the accounts back to the day, the beginning of day balance. So I got saved again. But I will talk about the trades, right? I was bearish, right? And the reason why I was bearish was because there was an SMT. I think it was over here actually. So I noticed that there was something else that I only talk about in the Discord with, that I was like, yeah, they're bearish today. But for some reason I decided to take it short, and it was so stupid. It was not worth it. It was idiotic. But okay, no. So the SMT was over here, right? This high gets taken out by ES, and NQ doesn't take it out. So I'm just like, okay, looking pretty bearish. As you can see, bearish structure on that side, and it's looking very bearish. And we were above the open for a little bit and just trickle down, and at the open I noticed they open and go up into this 15-minute fair value gap, and I was going to take a short in there, but I was like, it's early in the session, I don't want to risk it. But that was the best thing that I could have done, right? Let's take the short in there and then let it ride. Didn't take it. Then I ended up trying to take a long. I think, where was it? I think it was after we took out this low here. No, I think it was right here. I tried to take a long here. I think it was in this area here. Took a long after this move up, and I think I had my stop. I don't remember where, but I had a pretty wide stop because it was crazy. But I ended up getting stopped out on the long. Then I was like, why am I taking longs? I paid attention to this, and it's like I kept wanting longs, but then I'm like, why am I doing that? I already saw that they were bearish, and that's something that I hate. that I do, and I'm gonna, you know, expose myself for that. I hate when I do this. It's like the market is telling me short. Like after this 15-minute candle closed below this low, this strong, this is like, bro, why are you looking for long? There's nothing telling me that there's longs, right? I'm like, okay. I try to short, and then I don't even remember where I tried to short exactly. I think it might have been like here in this area here. I think I tried to short like right here, somewhere around here, I think. Yeah, and then I got stopped out. I think I got in like this, right? It might have been something like this. And I got stopped out, and I was tight. I was just like, you know what, I'm gonna get off. But again, I lost more than I wanted to because of how volatile the day was. If I would have took the short on the minis and I would have lost, it would have been fine because it would have been a lot less of a loss. And I was like, yeah, I'm just done. I'm just gonna trade paper. And then I end up coming back a little later, and I noticed that they started to shift bullish, right? Specifically here, after we take out this low, we start to shift bullish, and then I take a paper trade after that inside of this fair value gap right here. Boom. I noticed we start to move bullishly. I had some standard deviations in that area as well. I see that we're moving bullishly. It's a 15-minute PDO rate, so I just waited for a 1-minute CISD, and right here we get it, right? So we have this last swoop right here. I think there was an SMT here as well. Then we have this CISD. Boom. I take the long right here. I think it was like there. I got filled, stopped below this low, and then I was targeting high, but I ended up closing it at like 4,000 or something like that profit because it was going crazy. So I think I closed like around here somewhere because I noticed there was a 4-hour fair value gap in that area, and I was just like, yeah, there's no point of me trying to hold. I could easily use that and keep going lower, and that's exactly what it did. So I closed at the perfect time. But I was just angry because, like, bro, I took an amazing trade on paper after I was done, and then bullshitted throughout the actual session, which got me tight. But that now leads us here into Friday, which was basically a chop fest all day. Friday the 30th. I took one long and then like 3 break evens, and I was just like, you know what, I'm done. I'm not gonna force it. I'm not gonna do none of that. There's no point. The long that I ended up taking, and this is the day that I was trading micros, right? I took a long like right here and had my stop loss below this low, and I was targeting way higher. I think I was targeting these highs up here. All right, so I take my first partial here. It was 5 contracts. I took 3 here, let the other 2 run. I got stopped out break even. I'm like, okay. And then I take it short here, right here, reverse, targeting these lows, and I think I have my stop like here. It goes down. I move to break even. I get stopped out. Then after that, I took another trade. What was it? Yeah, then I was like, you know what, I might be done just because it's chopping way too much. I didn't like it, so I got on paper, and then I take it short here, and I was targeting this low. All right, and it ends up hitting. This is after I was already done trading. Then I take a long, and this is all on paper again. Then I take a long right here, and it starts to inverse this here, so I close and then reverse my position and take a short down to here. So I was trading very well on micros, so that's kind of what I enjoyed. As you can see here on the higher time frame, we end up having an SMT up here after sweeping Asia highs. We have a CISD, boom, or this inverse fair value gap that you could have taken and then rolled it all the way down because it melted for the rest of the day. But I was already done. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna get off because after 11 it was just horrendous. It was just chopping and chopping. I was like, you know what, I'm done. And then I come back and they drop, so you know, that's when I actually started getting good. But apart from that, that's pretty much everything that happened this week. For next week, we'll just have to see. As you can see, we're basically trending lower as of right now. We basically have an SMT above this high as well with ES, so we'll have to see what the markets want to do. I'm just gonna take it day by day and see what it wants to do. I don't want to, you know, try and force anything. But yeah, apart from that, that's pretty much everything. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, follow me on Instagram, join the Discord, check out Tektronics for 10% off using my discount code LVFLIP. And once again, thank you so much for 1,700 subscribers. Let's get to 2,000. I don't know how long that's gonna take, but hopefully it doesn't take that much. Be on the lookout on my Instagram. I might start that series again because I noticed that in my old videos it was getting a lot of interactions. But apart from that, thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.